All right, continuing our study of fusion musicians. Today we're looking at Armando Anthony Chick Corea. That's what he was known as Chick. Well, still is. He's still alive. His initial first musical influence was his own father, who was a piano player, and kind of got young Armando interested in playing professionally. So he did that. He went to college to study. He never graduated, but he got enough training that when he decided to go out on the road, he knew what he was doing and had the formal training behind him to do that. He has been recording and touring since the early 1960s. And that in itself is incredible. In December 2016, he had a 2-month engagement. That means he played in the same place every night for 2 months in New York City. That's pretty unheard of today. Back in the big band swing era, bands would get hired to play at a fancy hotel in a ballroom or something for months on end. But for an individual solo artist, for that to happen in today's world, that's just unreal. But he did that not too long ago. His first professional jazz gig was with Cab Calloway, who was one of the band leaders during the big band swing era. His big hit was Minnie the Moocher. If you ever saw the Blues Brothers album or the Blues Brothers movie, that was him in there. But that's where he got his first start. As a pianist, he is known for versatility and for using a lot of synthesizers and other things with keyboards on them. Pretty fantastic. As far as other influences in his life, since the early 1970s, he has been pretty heavily involved in the Church of Scientology, along with Tom Cruise and other famous people. Whatever works for you. I'm not going to get into religion, but it definitely had an impact on his life. As of 2020, he has been nominated for 65 Grammy Awards. And of those nominations, he's come home with 23. 23 Grammy Awards is a lot of Grammy Awards. So I'm sure paper never flies off his desk, because he's probably got so many of them he doesn't know what to do with them at this point. He had a group in the 70s that was called Return to Forever. And that was one of his most successful forays into playing in groups. He returned to that format in 1986 with what he called the Electric Band, which is what we're going to listen to a little bit today. And he was trying to recapture some of that earlier, fantastic success that he'd had. This album, Light as a Feather, they did a tune called Spain, and that totally put him on the map. He actually made 7 albums with the Electric Band, and the one we're going to listen to today, Light Years, features this tune Flamingo from 1987. I was a sophomore in high school then. That's how old I am. You can do the math. The person that helped really establish Chick Corea as a superstar with his own name, he played with Miles Davis a lot in the late 60s and early 70s, and Miles helped him, establish his own career. Miles was really good about that, about helping other people. And Chick Corea has now earned his place among the jazz giants. So, without further ado, let's listen to a little bit of Chick Corea. So you can hear all the electronic instruments in here. So a lot of times this music gets sort of a bad rap, I guess. It sounds a lot like TV soundtracks from the late 80s. I don't know if you ever watched Miami Vice. That's kind of what it sounds like to me, a little bit. But a lot of the players that are on here, like his drummer, Dave Weckl, he's gone on to make quite a name for himself as well. So, he's trying to pay it forward like Miles did for him. All right, there is one more to listen to next week, and then that's it. So I hope you enjoyed Chick Corea.